Hey guys, welcome back to another video with me, Roland, your tutor. Today we'll be talking about grade 10 trigonometry. This section can be quite a killer if you're not careful, so you need to learn all of the rules really well, but it becomes literally a 80% to 100% easy game sort of situation if you learn really well. There's basically three things you need to take into account, and I'll quickly brush over them now. That's sine, cos, and tan. So there's a couple of things that you should remember. There are a couple of trig identities that come later on. In this case, you've got special angles, and you've got a couple of things that you should remember. Like if you have sine, it's sine is SO over H. So you'd say shade your rear cause x raised tan your exterior for the y, x, and r values. But if you're doing opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse, which you'll understand more of once we get into it, you'll say SOHCAHTOA, and I'm sure you've heard SOHCAHTOA plenty times. If you haven't and you're new to this, well, you should be excited because it's seriously easy. If you're looking at it, you've got the hypotenuse that's opposite the 90-degree angle, and that's always the case. Okay, so we're diving into it right away. I've given you my basic introduction, but here's how it goes. So you've got hypotenuse is always the longest line. It's always opposite the 90-degree, and if you're doing sine, cos, and tan, you need to realize that if you're going to be using your SOHCAHTOA, it needs to be with a 90-degree triangle. Your opposite line is always the one that's opposite the angle that you're referring to. So the opposite and adjacent change depending on which angle you're talking about. If you're looking at the angle over here, you're looking at the opposite angle being on the right-hand side of the triangle. However, if you're looking at the other angle at the top of the triangle where the blue and the green meet, the opposite side would be where the current adjacent side is. So we've got A, B, and C over there. And we refer to these sides as depending on the angle, as I've mentioned. So once again, if ever I go too quickly, don't worry. You can always pause the video, restart the video, or check out the notes that we have at ThinkBrainwave.com. That's why I'm writing all these things down for you so that you can see it clearly if you don't have the video per se. So we are discussing the angle theta, and the angle theta is at the point A. The opposite side to point A is the line BC. So as you can see, I've written this in green, so it's very easy for you to follow if you're doing this through the notes. The hypotenuse, as I've mentioned, is the longest side. It's always opposite the 90-degree angle. And then the adjacent side is always dependent on where the opposite side is. You say it's the remaining angle in general, because if you're dealing with your certain angle, your opposite is always going to be the opposite angle. Your adjacent is the last third angle, and that sort of makes easy game sense, doesn't it? So make sure to take note of this. Very important, otherwise you will have loads of questions about it in the future. And if you do have questions, don't stress, you can reply or mention it in the comments below. So let's get started. I mean, you look at something important like sine theta, and I spoke to you about SOHCAHTOA. So here's where we get into it. Sine theta is the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So we call that SO, S-O-H. Right? We say the opposite is the O, and we say the hypotenuse is the H. So if we're referring to whatever angle, we call it theta, we say sine is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Very important making a mental note of this sort of picture, as you'll be dealing with sine a hell of a lot going through into grade 12. Your basics are developed now in grade 10. Grade 11, they sort of expanded upon, and then they get a little bit more hectic when you get into grade 12 and you start adding a lot more information onto your current basis. So now, let's do the next one. We've done sine theta, so let's do cos theta now. Cos theta is so C-A-H, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. So there we have it, C-A-H. Your adjacent is representing the A, and your hypotenuse represented by an H. Very, very important that you remember these things. But basically, you just need to remember SOHCAHTOA. I mean, when you're doing trigonometry, at the beginning of your test, just write SOHCAHTOA or SOHCAHTOA, however you feel like it. But it's very important that you do that, and then you do the identity and the triangles that you'll get that come in the next sort of few minutes of this video. So don't go away. This is very important for you to learn for trig. Tan theta is toa, which is opposite over adjacent. So you write tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Right, there we go. TOA, T-O-A, opposite over adjacent. Very, very important. We've got 3 of them done now, so it's very cool. Write them down, put them on your pencil case. Don't write them where you can cheat. Just literally remember it off by heart and then write it into the test when you get there. It's a very easy way to up your marks really quickly. Okay, so let's move forward. Now that we've got our basics out the way. So that's what I was saying to you earlier. This is giving us the SOHCAHTOA or SOHCAHTOA, depending on how you want to say it. Doesn't really matter, it just matters how you use it. There we go, SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA. See, I'm trying to get it into your head so you never forget it. It's very, very, very important. SOHCAHTOA. And you'll see further on in trigonometry this gets built upon, where I explained earlier we're using the X, the Y, and the R. So in that sort of case, you'd say shade your rear, because X-rays tan your exterior. You might never have heard of that one before, but that one's very good to remember, because that's when you start doing trigonometry of lines and geometry. So we have SOHCAHTOA. It only applies, as I mentioned earlier, to right-angled triangles. I'm really taking time on this video, as I'm sure that this is going to be a video that you watch a couple of times. This is a very, very important part of your trigonometry. Trig is really easy. It only depends on whether you know your rules or not. And if you don't know your rules, unfortunately, it's not going to be the easiest of subjects or topics to pass. But if you do know your rules, easy game. Right, so now we know that it's only right-angled triangles, and we're only going to focus on these triangles. Okay, SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA, don't forget that. If you want the notes, just remember thinkbrainwave.com, we've got everything there for you. And as I said, right-angled triangles, do not forget it. If they might very well trick you. They give you like a non-right-angled triangle, they say, okay, cool, do SOHCAHTOA or do trigonometry, try and find this out. All you say is, if they say specifically using trigonometry, you say, unfortunately, this is not a right-angled triangle and the operation will not work. Okay, so now it's going to get a little bit more, what could seem like complicated, but it's actually very simple. We're doing reciprocal ratios. Now, reciprocal ratios, reciprocal literally means 1 over. So if you take 5 and you say 1 divided by 5, that would be the reciprocal of 5. So cosec is the reciprocal of sine. So you're literally just taking 1 over sine, and that would be cosec. If ever you get this kind of question in a test, don't stress. Remember what we've done over here. So 1 over sine is cosec, 1 over cos is sec, and 1 over tan is cot. It can get confusing at times because you kind of see cosec and you think, okay, that must be cos, and sec must be sine. Just remember, it's the other way around. I mean, if you're doing reciprocals, you're saying 1 over sine, then you should remember, okay, it's not cosec for sine, for cos, it's cosec for sine. You must make sure to write these down as you start your trigonometry paper. So a lot of guys will struggle with this because they'll be like, what is this? And you'll know they haven't studied their trigonometry correctly. But a person like you who's watching this kind of video will know these rules, will have practiced them, and will have gone through the examples that follow in the videos that follow, and in the and on the website where you find all the exercises. Okay, so basically we simply flip the SOHCAHTOA into SHO and CHA and TAO. So I don't know how to say that. Sounds like some shor, cha, and tau. Okay, shor, cha, tau. That could work. Shor, cha, tau. That can work really. So you got a bit of an African vibe, a bit of a Chinese vibe, and a bit of like Taiwanese maybe. I don't know. But yeah, just remember that. That gives you your cosec, sec, and cot. And once again, reciprocal is 1 over whatever you're dealing with. So if ever a teacher asks you, or an exam asks you, listen, what is the reciprocal of x? You just say 1 over x. It's literally as simple as that. Nothing to stress about. All right. So just remember these things, SOHCAHTOA and shor, cha, tau, and you'll have an easy game. Welcome to ThinkBrainwave. If you're a student, you'll sign up accordingly, and if you're a parent, pretty much the same way. This is your landing page, your home page. So if you're going to sign up, you click sign up, you fill out all of your details here, making sure to select either tutor or parent or student. Alternatively, if you want to use Google or Facebook, click sign in. Here you can click continue with Facebook or continue with Google. I have already signed up with my test accounts, so I'll be signing up as a parent in this particular video. There we go, is my details. You can see that it says add child. My child's name is Roland Student Test. You see that this is Roland Parent Test. My name's Roland and I own the business. So I use these two accounts for testing. So we've logged in successfully. We see that this is the parent's account. Our child is Roland Student Test. If I want to add another child, I can add it there. There's a child code that I'll get from the student account. You'll see where that comes from shortly. I've just quickly jumped to a student profile. As you can see, there is the place where you can share with the parent. Alright, make sure that your child has gone and signed up for an account so you can do this. Now you can go and change your profile. You can add a photo. You can change your name. You can change your gender. So I'm just going to quickly add a nice little photo of myself over here. And there we go. Then you've got your gender, male, my address, which I will put in as blah, 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 whatever it is. Got my date of birth, let's just call it 1999, whatever date is fine. Country, South Africa, we also launched in India, so that's over there. And I'll click save. Right, there's my parent's profile sorted out. I'm now going to go back to my dashboard. If I want to see what sessions I've got coming up, I'll click over here. You can look at a monthly, a weekly, or a daily sort of schedule. I like it on the monthly. You can then go to, that's your My Plan over there. It's the same as this. This is just your dashboard there. Let's go to My Account. So it's View Account. Over here, you can select your packages that you want to purchase per child. You can add your subscription plan over here, and you can pay accordingly. So let's try and pay over here. There we go, Pay Now. We put our email address over here, and we continue with payment. I'm going to cancel that, because I'm not going to be paying for anything as we speak. But that's how one does it. If I want to change children, I can change it over here. Now, from anywhere, as you notice, there's this blue button like this. You can book a tutor. You can either book for a face-to-face session where someone will come to your home or to your school, or you can book for a video-to-video session, which will be online tutoring. So let's quickly just scope it out. You've got the grade, which is selected over here. My child theoretically is in grade 10, but I can change it to grade 7 if I'd like. And I can also change it to grade 11 if I want to do accelerated learning for my kid. Your subject is Maths, Afrikaans, Physical Science, and English at the moment. We're focusing on these four for the next 6 to 12 months, after which we will add more subjects depending on the demand. Okay, here you select your topic. So make sure to select a subject, then a topic. Then you need to choose your date. So I'm going to choose a date in the future. Let's say October 2019, the 25th. As let's say 3 p.m. in the afternoon, 3, maybe 3:30. It's always going to be an hour session long. So just make sure that you understand that. Your tutor gender is linked to your student's gender. We generally like to have males with males and females with females. Visit me means tutor will come to me, and visit you means you'll go to the tutor. You then put in your home address, or you put in your current address depending on where you are. So as you can see, this is my current address over here. And I will say this is my child's current address, or my home address. And then I'll click book. As you can see, there's no tutor available for this time. And what I'll need to do is go and try and change up the time. So I'm going to go and change it up to, let's say August, let's say July, let's try the 24th. So tomorrow, I want to book an online session. So let's say tomorrow at what time? Let's say 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m., okay? Let's say the topic
the subject will be mathematics, and the topic will just be general maths for grade 10. Let's book that. And when you see booking confirmation like this, it means that there is a tutor that is available for you. You don't know who the tutor is, but we've pre-vetted all of our tutors, and you can obviously rate them at the end of the session. If you're unhappy, just give them a poor rating. However, if you are happy, give them a good rating, and you can rebook them again. So let's confirm that. You now need to purchase a plan. Cool, let's go purchase it. And once again, here you go. You can pay for these now. You can choose whichever plan you want. Some of these are dummies, but as you can see, like for instance, R5 is going to be for 5 hours of face-to-face and 5 hours of video-to-video. That's one of the dummy accounts what we're using for testing. And as I mentioned before, we're in beta phase, so please understand that this kind of package won't be available in the future. So let's go back to the dashboard. You also can notice that there is a bell icon. You can contact us from here. There's no notifications for you at this point in time. I'm now going to log out. And I'm going to sign in as a student. Right, sign in as a student. I can book over here as you've seen before. So booking over here entails the subject, the topic, algebra, let's say for the 24th. I'm going to book for 12:45. It's an hour-long session. The travel distance is going to be 50 km because that's what I've set in my profile. And there's my booking. Cool, let's put it through. Therefore, this has been matched with one of the tutors. Instantly, you don't have to wait any time. So at 12:45 tomorrow, you'll have a session provided that you pay for one of your plans. Okay, once you've paid, you'll get redirected and you'll be able to start getting your tutoring done. Once again, back at the dashboard, you've got your profile. You can share them either via the South African code with whatever number you want, or you can share it via email with whatever email you want. The parent then uses that code to add you as a child, and then you can get your sessions booked by your parent. Cool. There's your My Account tab, and once again, something new is the My Videos. For the next 6 months, this is going to be absolutely free. As long as you purchase your tutoring through the platform, you'll be able to watch these videos. But for now, you can watch them totally for free. You don't have to pay anything at all. So you can see that there's accounting, Afrikaans, mathematics grade 10, and just breaks it all down. There's loads and loads of videos, and we're uploading videos all the time. Please understand that the reason it's free is that we are building a database of videos for you. So just understand that you're not going to have everything off the bat from grade 8 to grade 12 just yet. We're focusing on grade 10 as it's the foundation for high school and anybody that's taking maths to matric. So you've got your grade 10 videos, and all of these functions videos are later built on to matric. So that's why we've done these basic ones, and then you've got the extra cubic functions, which is not including grade 10. But besides that, that's all you kind of need to know as a parent or a student.